Hey YouTube, JP Dillon. What we're looking at today is a Fisher 400, and this one has a bad output transformer, and there's no obvious signs of death, no burning of the screen resistor, no fried components. I mean, the screen resistor is a little hot, but that's just kind of how they get. This one's been serviced a number of times. It's got a fresh set of output tubes. It played wonderfully for a couple of hours, and then all of a sudden, well, I'll show you in a minute. Let me grab a meter. Okay, so let's turn this on. And let's see. No, I gotta plug it back in again. I didn't want anybody else running it. You're going to hear what a bad output transformer sounds like. And there it is. Sounds like silver mica disease, doesn't it? And then if we look at the plates, plate voltage is all over. That should be a steady 420. Now the other side, if I can get it to do its thing here. That one's steady, about 409, 410. But the other one's all over. And that's that crackling you hear. Let's turn that off there. And if I remove one output tube, it goes down a little bit. If I remove both output tubes, it goes away. If I take the load away from the transformer, it goes bye-bye. So, that transformer's dead. And I don't have a spare 400. But what I do have is a spare 500. 500C output transformer. Now, a little background. The 400 uses 7868s and the 500C uses 7591s. It's the same tube, just in a different envelope, but they're the same tube. So the question at hand is, can this transformer be substituted for the 400? And can it be done without any sort of serious modification? And that's what we need to find out. So that's going to require that we take physical measurements to see if it'll fit on the chassis without impeding the addition of a wood case, if so desired, or if there's any sort of really spiffy things that we have to do to make it work. Now, we've got a ground, and we've got a primary input, and then I forget what the yellow lead is, and then we have our impedance taps. I think actually these are the impedance taps. This is the secondary, and then this goes to the output tubes, to the plates of the output tubes. This rings okay, but you never know until you put that voltage across it what it's going to do. So let's take some physical measurements and see what we're looking at as far as a replacement. Now, the first piece of good news is that obviously we've just got one hole for where the wiring comes through, just like this one does. And they've got, for the input, they've got this tan line. This is your high voltage that goes in, which comes over here. This is your high voltage lead. And then you got this one, which is ground. And then let's see here, the secondary ones, like the other one, are blue with a yellow stripe and what looks like a dark blue. So anyway, we're going to home all this stuff out before we're certain, but now we need to flip it over and see what our physical dimensions are and our mounting centers are. Alright, so I can already see an immediate problem, and that is physical size. Now, height-wise, That transformer is just a little bit over 3 1/8 inch high, and the width is about 3 1/4 inch wide. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, because the transformer from the 500 is 4 inches wide, but it's 3 1/8 inches high, so the height is fine, but it's got a bigger core. More turns, more power. The 500C was a 35 watt, and this is only about a 20 watt. Well, crap. That ain't gonna work either. And looking at the chassis layout, unfortunately, there's no room to just squeeze it in there, because we don't have any real room next to that, and we don't even have enough room next to that. Another, hell, 1/8 of an inch, and you're encroaching on the multiplexer. So that sucks. What about if we turn it sideways? Nope, because then we have the 12AX7s that get in the way. And then where do I route the wiring? So that's unfortunate. It's looking like I gotta have a Fisher 400 output transformer, or it's a no-go. What are we gonna do? I've also got this Hammond 1650G, which is for 6L6 and the like, which could work, but again, just looking at the data sheet, it ain't gonna fit. It's too tall, and that means the damn thing ain't gonna work in there either. So I think we might be stuck on this one unless I can get some kind of a means for shoving another transformer in there, because I can tell you right off the bat, there ain't enough room to stick a 500 in there. No way. And then because of the difference in output, I would most certainly have to put 2 transformers in there to make that work. So yeah, this one's kind of stuck. I was hoping we'd have some sort of cool fix, or like Frankenstein thing, but they're really, if we just take a look at it, this is tight in here. I mean, there really ain't room to squeeze a bigger part in. I really can't do it. I'd like to, but ain't gonna happen. And obviously, if I remove the shield, it ain't gonna gain me much more space. So they got it all squeezed in there. Yeah, no bueno. Alright, well, sorry, no fancy cool video today. It's just a diagnostic video. So yeah, identifying your defective output transformer. It's not caps and things. The first thing, in fact, if you want to do some troubleshooting breakdown, when I first heard it, the scary crackling noise that you heard, first thing I did was I came and I pulled the preamp tubes. Noise was still there. So then I came down to the phase inverters and pulled them out. Noise was still there, and I said, ah, crap. That's not good. So then what I did was I came down here and I took voltage measurements. And I made sure that my screen voltage was okay. I made sure that there was no junk on the grids, because there is a grid voltage which is supposed to be negative, but then that grid voltage is also shared with the channel that's working, so there was no junk there. And then I pulled the output tubes, and then the output tubes gone, the load's gone off the transformer, and the problem went away. No sound, but the problem went away. So I put one output tube back in, and a little bit of crackle, but not very much. And then I put the other one back in, lots of crackle. And then I pulled the first one out, still lots of crackle. So 1/2 of the center tapped primary for the output tubes is where the short is. And it's something probably arcing through the insulation. So yeah, that's how I diagnosed it. And then, as you saw on the meter, when I took the plate voltage measurements, everything was like really all over the place, whereas the other channels are rock solid 410 volts. It's supposed to be 420, but whatever. So this is in need of a transformer. So I will keep my eyes out for a transformer, and if I do get one, I'll pop it in there. But that's diagnosing a defective output transformer on a Fisher 400. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. More stuff to come.